Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of the Usagi Podjimbo podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and we are back again with another episode. This is the last episode for this particular volume that we're doing, which is The Wanderer's Road. And this is the Usagi Yojimbo Origins Volume 2. For this particular volume, the colored reprints. I have to say this one's a pretty good issue, which was the Shogun's Gift, and we start out with this particular issue. We are at the Genshu Castle of Lord Noryuki, the young prince, a panda bear, and he has gotten this famous Muramasa blade, and it will be presented to the Shogun on the behalf of the Genshu clan. And Lord Noryuki is looking at it. He is like amazed by this blade, and we see Tomoe, and Tomoe is like, yes, this is a very like well crafted, beautiful sword, and it'll be a fine gift, she says. Superb fine gift. And we see this cat ninja. We will know to be the Neko ninjas. Uh, he's sneaking around, lurking up in the rafters of this castle. And we see Tomoe. She kind of notices something, grabs a spear, and stabs it into the ceiling. And she's like, yeah! And he's like, stand back, Lord Noryuki. And this particular ninja cat guy, he gets a blade through the leg or through his like upper thigh area. And it like gets him really good. The blood starts kind of dripping off his wound. Like the blade is still in his leg. And this is pretty cool. He like takes his hood off and he like wipes, he holds the the cut to his leg and waits for her to pull the blade out so the blood can be wiped off the tip of the spear. And we see Tomoe, and Tomoe is like, oh, that's odd. I could have sworn I heard something. Forgive me, my lord, for such an intrusion. It was wrong of me. And Lord Noryuki is basically paying this guy this like Tomoe's like worriness, like no concern really, because Lord Noryuki has doubled, maybe even tripled the guards that are at standing guard, so nobody will steal the precious Muramasa blade, you know. And Lord Noryuki is tired. He's like, "Oh, I'm tired. Let's get some rest. Nobody's gonna get this blade whatsoever." Little do they know, the next page, this cat guy comes down and he takes the blade from the Shogun's castle, or from Lord Noryuki's castle. And we see this mysterious cat guy jump down, holding his leg, saying he's got to get out of this castle. He's got to get this blade to where, I guess, wherever it needs to be. I guess maybe he's taking it back to Lord Hakiji. I don't really remember where he was taking it back to, but I want to say it might be Lord Hakiji, because I think the Neko ninjas worked for Lord Hakiji when Usagi's master or shogun guy got killed, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly. I could be completely remembering this wrong, because I have a terrible memory when it comes to this, to be honest. But we see this dog guard, and he's like, "Oh, why do I need to be out here, guarding this blade? Nobody's gonna take it." And he gets a throwing ninja star to the head, and I guess he dies, because it's like bam, right in like the middle of his forehead. And they're like, "Oh no, the Muramasa blade has been stolen. Alert the castle, seal the gates." And you see this lone ninja limping away. Uh, he's lucky that the spear missed his bone. I guess missed any vital arteries as well, but he is limping away trying to not be seen because he just stole a priceless artifact. Next, we see Usagi walking down the road in the middle of the night, and you hear clump, 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 clump. And Usagi and Tomoe meet for the very first time in a long time. And Usagi says, "It's good to see you, old friend." And Tomoe asks Usagi, "Have you been on the road for that long?" He's like, "No, as a matter of fact, I haven't. Apparently somebody stole this sword. Can you keep a lookout for this sword that may or may not be on this road?" And Tomoe rides off to go try to find the person who stole the sword. And Usagi is walking off, and he finds this person who is sitting at a fire. He seems to be a wood. What do you call them? A woodcutter, I guess you could say. Yeah, he is a woodcutter. And he's like, "Can I come sit with you?" We find out this is actually the ninja from before. He is just in disguise, and he's like, "Curse it, my luck. Of course a samurai would show up. Oh man, this really sucks." And so Usagi asks if he can sit down and rest with this lone woodcutter. And he's like, "A lonely peasant as myself would not deny a samurai's warmth." Usagi's like, "Oh, thanks. Thanks for the offer." He's like, yeah, it's been 3 days since, uh, I guess he's found anything, it seems like. And he's like, "You are a generous samurai, but I've already eaten." Yeah, I guess Usagi hasn't eaten, and he wanted to share some food, I guess, with him. But in the back of this cat's head, he's like, "Idiot, you fucking idiot." This is what's happening. He's like, "Oh," Usagi says, "Oh, your leg has been injured." And he's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's nothing. It's just an axe wound. An axe wound. I was cutting some logs, and I just missed." And Usagi's like, "Oh, this looks like it's a spear wound, actually." And he's like, "No, no, it's an axe wound." And Usagi's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a spear wound." And Usagi asks, "Where's this man going?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to the Gishu castle to sell some firewood." Usagi says, "Oh, we should go together because that's where I'm actually headed as well." The cat guy is like, "No, no, no, it's okay. No need to worry. I'm going to sleep." They both go to sleep, and the ninja cat guy, he happens to slink off, and it just so happens Usagi was kind of playing possum because he was pretending to be asleep. And we see the cat ninja walk off, and we see Usagi thinking, it's strange sneaking off in the middle of the night, when you're going to travel anywhere, especially to the Genshu Castle, by yourself. And he's like, "I think there's a mystery here, and I must solve this mystery." Come to find out, Ninja Catman gets to the village he was trying to get to, and he can't really get through because people are searching, or guards are searching for Lord Noryuki's sword that went missing. He was able to get through because he hid the sword and to make it look like it was in a bundle of like sticks. Uh, he goes to place his wood in the bundle of sticks, and he runs into old Usagi, and the ninja cat is very much perturbed. If I remember correctly, I think his name's Sasuke, but I don't want to say the wrong name. But I think he's Sasuke, but I'm going to call him Ninja Cat. And he's like, "Oh, come on, let's hang out, grab a bite to eat, and stuff like that." You see Usagi and Ninja Cat guy. They're sitting at the table. These two woodcutters from the tower issue, I believe, showed up. They show up occasionally, I think, but they're like, "Oh, can we borrow? Can we take a seat at your table?" Uh, there's not a lot of spaces to sit because of what's happening in the city. And so the Usagi's talking to the woodcutter, and the woodcutter's talking about how he's going to get a very good price for firewood from Lord Noryuki's castle. And Usagi is like, but the other woodcutter said you can go across the river and it'll be a lot better price. And they're like, no, that's actually wrong. They pay not very good. And he sees a ninja cat walk off, and he's like, it's been a long day. I think I'm gonna leave. And we see Ninja Cat go and get his bundle of firewood, and he's like, it's good. It's late enough. The streets are empty. I'm gonna go get this firewood. I'm not gonna draw attention to myself. I haven't slept for days. My leg is beginning to throb. He's just complaining about all this. And he finally makes it out of the Genshu territory. He swims through this river, it looks like, trying to get this sword out of the territories. You hear a hello again, and the ninja cat is very much shocked, surprised. He sees Usagi uh, like laying next to laying propped up next to a tree. Usagi says that he was restless and decided to leave the town early. And Usagi asks Ninja Cat, uh, who I called Sasuke, which I was completely wrong. His name is Shinji. So Shinji the cat. I don't know why I wanted to call him Sasuke. Uh, but Usagi asks, "Oh, did you fall in the river?" And Shinji says, "Oh, don't act coy with me. The games are over." And Usagi says, "Yes, they are. I'm Shinji the Neko Ninja, the clan of the Neko Ninjas. And you are a dead man. I suspected you were a ninja," Usagi said. "I am Miyamoto Usagi. I have crossed blades with Neko Ninja in the past. You did Lord Hukiji's bidding, didn't you?" And you find out that yes, he actually did Lord Hukiji's bidding in the past. Um, at, you know, he basically says, we wanted the Genshu to lose face. He directed me to steal the sword, their gift to the Shogun. So Shinji and Usagi go at it in this fierce fight. It's really cool. There's a lot of flipping and tumbling. I really like seeing this fight between these two different fighting styles because Shinji, you know, is more faster, not really the traditional samurai fighting that we normally see. He's got these two I don't want to call them like sickles, but like these little like mini sickles, I guess you could say. I don't really know what they're called, but we get this cool fight. He like jumps up in the trees and they're talking. Apparently, Shinji thought Usagi was kind of like a fool, but apparently Usagi isn't really a fool. And we see them fighting, and we get this cool scene where Shinji starts throwing ninja stars at Usagi, and Usagi is deflecting and blocking them. And you see Usagi jump up into the air, and he like I don't know if he cuts the tree. He cuts the branch of the tree that Shinji is standing on, and Shinji falls to the ground. And Usagi's like, "Give up, ninja. You need to give up." And Shinji's like, "This samurai is indeed formidable. My mission comes first. Here is the hidden sword in the wood." And he goes to grab the sword, and he throws down a smoke bomb, which confuses Usagi. And he's like, "We will meet again, Miyamoto Usagi." And he's like, "Foul smoke." He's gone. And elsewhere, we see the aftermath of this battle that happened, and we see Shinji traveling through the woods. He is definitely worse for wear. His leg is hurting. He goes to unwrap the sword, and we find out that the sword is actually just a piece of wood. So Usagi got the best of him. And the next day, we see at the Ginchu Castle, the woodcutters delivering their wood, an honest job for two people who didn't steal a sword like Shinji did, you know, and they're going taking the wood into the the castle, and they happen to notice the woodcutter's wife sees this thing like protruding out of the sword, and she's like, "Oh, husband, like what is this?" And she's like, "What is what are you talking about?" He's like, "It looks like a sword," and he's like, "Oh my god, it's a sword! This is a sword. Like what's it doing here? We better turn it in to the owner. We'll think we stole it." And the woodcutter's wife is like, "Do you think? Suppose we will be punished or beaten for this?" And they happen to run into Tomoe, and you find out that like they're like, "Oh, we didn't steal this sword. We found this sword." They're very, very much, you know, like trying to tell them like we didn't take it, and like, "Oh my god, this is the Muramasa blade. Thank you very much. We've been looking everywhere for this." And they talk about how they ran into this rabbit Ronin, and you know, Tomoe's like, "Oh, you must mean Usagi. He got mixed up into this too." It turns out that she figures out that the woodcutter that was in the woods before, not the monkeys, but the cat, must have been the person who stole the sword, and Usagi uh, gave the switcheroo, and gave the sword to the actual woodcutters to return. And we see Lord Noryuki should be getting the sword now, is what Usagi says. I hope everything's okay. We'll meet again one day. And that's where this particular issue ends. So the woodcutters, they get uh I guess they're in good standings with Lord Noryuki, and I'm guessing they're getting better paid now. Maybe they're a little well off, because they are they returned the sword, and maybe they got a reward. I hope they got a reward. I think they show up again. But I liked this issue in particular. One, because it's always a fun time when we get to see Lord Noryuki and Tomoe. Uh, they definitely uh, bring a lot to the Usagi Yojimbo, the story. And I like when we get to see them. I know they show up on other times and stuff, but it's cool we get to see them again, because the last time I think we saw them was it Lone Rabbit and Kid? I think it was. I don't remember. Was the first? It was the first volume of this origin series. I think it was Lone Rabbit and Kid. I think it was. I can remember. I can't remember. But yeah, it was cool. I liked that there was more world building in this. It wasn't just Lord Hikiji is like the bad guy. We get the Neko ninjas, which is pretty cool. I like that Usagi pulled a fast one on Shinji. That was pretty funny. Their fight was amazingly done. I loved. I love every time they do a fight in Usagi Yojimbo. It's just amazing, just the way different ways Stan Sakai like thinks up like doing battling and stuff like that. But it was super awesome. I loved this particular issue. I can't wait to get to the next volume, which is the Dragon Below conspiracy, which is not good. It's not individual like standalone stories. It's going to be more of a longer like story. So we're gonna have like multiple issues instead of just one individual story, standalone story. But this is really cool. I like this one a lot more than the last one, the teacup. I like the teacup one was fine. It was fine, but I kind of like it a little more when we get a little bit more meat of a story, and when there's kind of like more like intrigue and mystery and stuff like that. The teacup was fun. It was a fun little side story. But like these are the kind of stories kind of like a little bit more in the Usagi Yojimbo, which is like, the more, I don't say more serious stories, but, they are a little bit more serious. But thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, don't forget to like and share the podcast on whatever podcast platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or ways I can improve this podcast, you can find me on my Facebook page at Usagi Podjimbo. Or you can email me at usagipod@gmail.com. Check out the Facebook page there. Let me know what you think, how I can improve the podcast and stuff like that. The best way to support is to listen and share the podcast and leave a 5-star review. And we'll read it on the podcast if you decide to do so on Apple Podcast or whatever platform you choose to do so on. But thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.